It might be time to sound the alarm for the Dodgers. They lost 3 out of 4 games at home over the weekend to the Milwaukee Brewers. Their 6-2 loss Sunday dropped them 3 games behind Milwaukee for the best record in Major League Baseball and a half game behind the Atlanta Braves. Milwaukee has the tiebreaker advantage over the Dodgers if they end up tied at the end of the regular season. That means the Dodgers would not have home field advantage if they meet up with Milwaukee in the playoffs. And if the Dodgers don't straighten up, they could be playing in the wild card round. The Dodgers are 13-18 since they had MLB's best record at 61-33 on July 10th. They're 5-11 in their last 16 games and 9-13 since they hung out with Trump at the White House on July 23rd. The Dodgers are not playing like a team that has visions of winning a third straight World Series. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. My big mama used to say that there are 24 hours in a day, 12 hours to mind your business, and 12 hours to leave other folks' business alone. So, let's talk about our business, Crenshaw business. For over 5 years now, the good people of the Crenshaw corridor have lived in a gated community, but not by choice. Gates, fences, barricades, limited street access, closed lots, and then some. By now, you've heard the stories from the folk who've lived this nightmare. Business owners have lost customers. A charter school lost students. A veterinarian lost clients. Churches have lost members. And still, Procrastination Crenshaw sits unfinished. And when I say sits unfinished, I mean sits unfinished. Nobody was seduced by the Jedi mind trick they tried to play when they ran that headline on the front page of a local black newspaper about the project restarting in weeks. I mean, come see for yourself. The only trucks on Crenshaw are deconstruction trucks. It took a minute, but to her credit, LA Mayor Karen Bass showed up and she's leaning in on getting our parking back. But think about this for just a second. LA is not Chocolate City, and yet we are blessed to have a black mayor and a black city council president. But where is the black city council president? Where is Marquise Harris Dawson? This is his project in his district, but he has been strangely quiet. Did you notice in the recent Los Angeles Times story about Procrastination Crenshaw that neither Marquise Harris Dawson nor Destination Crenshaw had a word to say on the record? The silence was deafening. When people ask me why the silence, all I can say is, good question. As a reminder, the Crenshaw Corridor community sent him a letter, and it laid out real demands. A public timeline, relief for the businesses that have suffered, and an audit. At the moment, the last one matters most, the audit. Here's the thing, the foundation money, the private donations, that's their business. But this project is also funded by city money, state money, and federal money. I refer you back to the front page story in that black newspaper where they all talked about this. Go read it again. In any event, it's your money. And when public money goes into a $100 million project that still sits unfinished, the public has a right to see where every dollar went. Contracts, budgets, payments, schedules. That's not too much to ask. Again, it's your money. Our letter gave Mr. Harris Dawson a deadline, Friday, September 4th, to respond. The clock is ticking, Mr. President. 12 hours to mind the public's business. And this is one of them. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
How do you want it?
21, oh, life has just begun. Got a temper like a gun, pointing it at everyone. That's his game, and it helps him to get through the day. But a voice inside him says, how much longer can I play? He's got infinite possibilities, I can see them now. It's the unbroken chains of his past by which he's bound.
It's time to set our intentions, set our self-care, and find our focus. This is Mindful Mondays with Saharah Ali on KBLA Talk 1580.
It is indeed a great way to start our week. She is a meditation instructor, mindfulness teacher, a sound healer and sound bath specialist, life coach, astrologer, and numerologist. It is time for Mindful Mondays with Saharah Ali. Good morning, Saharah.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning, KBLA family. Welcome to Mindful Monday, where we get our minds right for the week by setting positive intentions to honor our mind and body through meditation, prayer, and affirmation as we step unapologetically into our week, being on purpose with power, wisdom, truth, and faith. This week, we're still in recovery from last week's solar eclipse, asking us to say no to say yes to ourselves as we get focused. Balancing personal desires with duties to others while supporting the cycle of self-love with marching orders to walk our talk, be committed to wholeness and love of self. Most of all, manifesting clarity, creating positive change to fill our cup first as we step closer into Virgo season starting Saturday. The gift is all celestial influences are in our favor, aiding us to anchor and manifest our dreams into reality. Now is the time to walk our talk, celebrate personal strength, release old belief patterns, yielding emotional management. It's time to reconstruct and reorganize our conditioned responses to honor and value ourselves, to live true to our perspectives of our wholeness and our light. We're under very powerful shifts this week as we reassess boundaries, embrace reality, engage emotional discernment, enhancing personal empowerment. The action plan is to remember our purpose, inviting our soul to navigate unapologetically, reframing the value of self. Our call to action is to take a journey into the world behind our eyes today, opening our soul's wisdom, unapologetically embracing innate truth as we shift our perspective to change our minds, to change our lives. So going forward, let's lean into our Mindful Monday meditation. Pause for a moment and take a breath. Anchoring your feet to the earth, connecting to the root of your purpose as you open yourself to align with your soul's task. Just breathe and be here, giving yourself permission to relax. Take a deep breath, mindfully connecting to self-empowerment. As you breathe, listen for guidance. Listen for clarity. Relax, opening your heart and mind to inner wisdom. Breathe, giving yourself permission to lean into divine insight. Listen with love for clarity with each breath. Relax and let go. Breathe in love from the Most High, calling on your angels and ancestors as you surrender to emotional management. Open yourself to embrace positive change unfolding in your life here and now. Breathe in trust, open to transformation, allowing yourself to level up in all partnerships and all endeavors you are engaging in at this time. Breathe, relax, travel in that world behind your eyes, and visualize happiness, visualize freedom, visualize abundance. Listen with an open heart, feeling empowered by love and clarity as you relax and be right here, right now, connecting to your breath, feeling bold and ready to live your best life, promising yourself to be unapologetically grounded and on purpose in your power. Breathe, relax, and know all things are possible. Give yourself permission to feel empowered with divine wisdom, ready to change your mind, to change your life, and pick up your power to say no, to say yes to your happiness and your purpose. Take a breath, connecting here and now, quieting your mind and quieting your body to receive our Mindful Monday affirmation for the week. Today with grace, I take my power back, celebrating my wholeness and light. Today with grace, I take my power back, celebrating my wholeness with light. Breathe, relax, and bring your awareness back to present time, giving yourself permission with grace to take your power back, celebrating your wholeness and light. sit with that. Be open to celebrating your wholeness. Be open to shining your light. And most of all, giving yourself permission to be empowered, honoring the truth and wisdom of your divine purpose. Take a breath. Feel centered and grounded. Bringing your awareness back. Feel your feet to the floor. Feel yourself in present time. Maybe bring your hands to your heart and take a breath. And slowly open your eyes. And remember, as you bring your awareness back, give yourself permission with grace to take your power back, celebrating your wholeness and your light. Thank you, Dominique, Tavis Smiley, Miles, and the 1580 KBLA family. Have an unapologetic, mindfully blessed week. Remember, when you fill yourself with self-love, you make better choices. But with grace, take your power back, celebrate your wholeness and your light.
Indeed. Celebrating wholeness and light. I love that you left us with light today. And we're still in Leo season, which is one of my favorites because it's so expansive. But we're going into Virgo season. When we talk about Virgo, there's a lot of precision, a lot of critical analysis, let me put it that way. And I feel like this is just a me thing, that highly critical eye on ourselves, right? Sometimes that's healthy, sometimes not so much. So how do you navigate that? The inner critic, the voice of the inner critic is present every season, all zodiac signs, spring, winter, summer, fall. And it can be quite counterproductive. When we let the perfect be the enemy of the good, or when we find ourselves stopping our own dreams. So how do you suggest we navigate that, particularly under the scrutiny of Virgo season, which, as you point out, starts on Saturday?
Well, the gift of Virgo is to help us have a critical, discerning perspective. But if we look at, each sign has an opposite reflection. So the opposite reflection of Virgo is Pisces. And so part of the reflection of Virgo and Pisces is also to have the critical thought, but also the faith to execute positive, uplifting, spiritual perspective of all things around us. It's not just always black and white, and that is part of the lesson of the Virgo. It is also a perspective of the inner world, the truth, the divine order. Although Virgo is like the taskmaster of trying to implement order, but there's always a divine order despite the critical perspective Virgos may take at times. The gift of Virgo is to help us be organized. It helps us have critical thinking as far as trusting the wisdom within ourselves. The other part of that is to also have that inner connection with the opposite polarity Pisces, to believe that there is magic, to believe that God's will is always being done, and that we don't have to crack a whip, that we don't have to be overly critical, that we can lean into that clarity we get from a Virgo perspective and know that that clarity is part of divine order, and to integrate that wisdom of divine order and be on point. So Virgo is very necessary, but the opposite side of Virgo is the Piscean dynamic. And so it's important as we go into Virgo season not to be hard on ourselves, not to be judgmental of other people, but to give ourselves permission to be discerning and to look, to do a 360 as opposed to just what's in front of us. Patience, patience, patience.
Not to be critical of others. Got it. And the line between discernment and judgment is an important one. We'll continue the conversation. We will not let Saharah Ali leave us yet. It's a Mindful Monday. You're always welcome in at 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
I'm an Eat and Fire hero. I was trapped there January 7th, 2025, so I was awarded the Carnegie American Red Cross and the Kiwanis Lifesaver Award. So, to me, this looks like a slow burn. You constantly see Dr. Hardy, Pastor Caldwell, Mr. Smiley here. Their business is slowly impacted. Now, in Altadena, it was a quick burn. Everybody left. Everybody got priced out. They didn't have enough money to stay afloat. They couldn't rebuild their property. So, to me, this is a target for the developers. In my opinion, having been in Altadena for 18 months, still today, I still feed all of those people there because they're still displaced because they can't afford to come back. So what do? They move down to the Inland Empire, or they just call it a day and they go back to another state. So it's important to hold leadership accountable because as of right now, they've abdicated their responsibility. They just show up for the cameras and they don't even come to see you.
Keeping them in check. We're KBLA, Talk 1580.
The KBLA 1580 app puts the realest conversations right in your pocket. Stream live wherever you are in the world. No static. No searching the dial. A crystal clear connection 24/7, exactly when you want it. We recommend that you keep automatic updates enabled. Set it and forget it. So the app stays up to date with store requirements, bug fixes, and new features as we roll them out. Download the KBLA 1580 app today and stay plugged into the conversation everyone's having.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You have something to say, and we want to hear it. KBLA Talk 1580 is engagement radio, not outrage radio. A place where your hopes, your frustrations, and your ideas are welcome 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Real talk, real people, real Los Angeles. KBLA Talk 1580, the station that sounds like the city looks. Tune in on your AM radio dial at 1580. Download our free KBLA 1580 app or listen live on our website at KBLA1580.com.
Unapologetically progressive. The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Right now, we're talking with Saharah Ali, getting ourselves together. You mentioned, we're talking about Virgo season, which starts Saturday. And you mentioned this idea of being self-critical or judgmental of others. And Molly Bell took it a step further to the guilt, the G word. She says guilt can be a boogabear. And I think that is part of that, when we get into that super self-critical, shoulda, woulda, coulda energy. And I love that you said in your Mindful Monday that part of the call to action is to focus on purpose. Is that an antidote to some of that, or how do you see it?
Well, to focus on purpose basically is saying stay in your lane, stay in alignment with the journey of your soul and the karma that your soul came here to live through, good, bad, or indifferent, and stay out of other people's business. This is not a time to jump into other people's affairs. This is not a time to lose sight of the manifestation of your wholeness. This is time to build and fill your cup first, because we can't give from an empty cup. When we try to give to others and our cup is empty, that's chaos. If we are in our wholeness, if we are in our light, we can give unconditionally and we can give with discernment. If your cup is empty, you probably give more of yourself than you're willing to give, and that's part of the Virgo season. It's like we can get overly involved in dynamics that don't serve our highest good, or we can get caught up in somebody else's expectation of who we are as opposed to honoring our own light and our own wholeness. And again, we go back to the polarity of Virgo and Pisces. Pisces is the dreamer. Virgo is the mental balance between the dreamer and reality. And so in that balance, there's clarity, and that clarity then comes back to know thyself, honor thyself, celebrate thyself. And so this Virgo season is very important to stay in your lane and be of service, but be of service by filling your cup first. Don't give your power away. Use discernment before you say yes. Sometimes during this time, we will have to say no to say yes to ourselves so that we can really perform at our best, so that we don't have that Virgo critical dynamic judging a half job. We want wholeness. That's what Virgo requires, wholeness and clarity and precision. And so we find that by understanding the truth of where we're standing, having emotional discernment, emotional management, but most of all, understanding what's your intention. In every intention, there's an expectation. In that expectation, there's an acceptance, whether or not that intention will be fulfilled. And then there's the reality of releasing to what is truth, what is wisdom, what is in front of you, and how can you change something if you don't change yourself.
Yeah.
You can't change other people if you don't change yourself.
I want to pivot a little bit. I love that DJ Black 909 wrote out your affirmation in the chat. I always write it in my notebook. Today with grace, I take my power back, celebrating my wholeness and light. Thank you, DJ Black 909. I want to pivot a little bit. More and more science is showing that sitting all day is bad for our bodies. And you're a yoga instructor. You're one of the most fit people I know in a very deep way. You do have muscles, but just as far as everything, the body being in alignment and flexible and all the stuff we want. And a lot of us do sit all day, whether it's at our jobs or, just out of force of habit, sitting on the couch. What is the antidote to that? Because from every article I read, it's really breaking down the well-being of the body, the longevity of the body, and the amount of time we can be independent and mobile.
So if you really think about what happens to stagnant water, what happens if your car is stalled? It becomes, it's like a complacency, like it doesn't move, it's just stuck. And so movement is so important because movement helps integrate our life force energy. Even if we walk, even if we just stretch our arms. I work with a lot of corporations and I bring creative wellness. And the first thing in creative wellness is that I have people breathe, which sends oxygen through your body. And breathing through meditation, you're flowing your life force energy, but movement complements the breath, and movement helps to circulate blood. It helps to integrate energy throughout the nervous system, but it also facilitates the synovial fluid in our spine that feeds our brain so that we can think clearly, we can talk clearly, and we can respond with emotional clarity. So movement is not just for movement's sake, but movement is to integrate wholeness and to allow the body to function at its ultimate level. Even if you just walk for a moment, walk up and down the stairs or walk around the corner, or just touch your toes. If you can't touch your toes, just hang over for a while. But even lie on the bed and do some stretches, pulling your knees to your chest. But most of all, getting that synovial fluid moving in your spine so that your brain will have clarity. You would have emotional management and discernment, and you'll have a better mood, and it helps fight depression. You gotta move.
So when you're talking about that movement, I'm over here in the studio moving my arms. It's like she just said, even moving your arms. I sit here for 3 hours. I try to run out in the hall and do a few squats or do a forward bend or something, even if I have on high heels, which is probably not good. But the thing is, it sounds like any little bit helps, and that it's not like either I'm Miss Olympia and I work out, I'm Clarissa Shields knocking fools out, or I just sit on the couch all day. Like every little bit of movement makes a difference.
Right. You don't want dust on your mind and your body.
No dust on your mind. I love that.
You don't want dust on your mind and your body. And the other part is that our heart rate has to move up and down, and breath helps that, but movement stimulates, a good cardio. What am I trying to say? Cardiac movement, your heart. Get your heart functioning is early. I can't think straight.
Do you? So let's say I have a job where I'm basically sitting 6, 8, 10 hours a day. Is there a formula like get up every 45 minutes and dance a jig, or every 2 hours I walk up and down the hall and I would say take some type of movement every 30 to 40 minutes. Even if you just walk down the hall, and even walking, maybe take the stairs when you come in, take the stairs when you leave, walk in, when you have a chance or something, or even just, sit in your chair and, like you said, put some music on, dance a jig, anything to get the heart pumping and the blood flowing so that your brain is healthy and that you don't fall into a depression. Chair yoga, yes. The mental health aspect of that is really important too. I'm glad you mentioned it. But even let's say I'm, an older American, I'm disabled. I know we're almost out of time here, and I can only move a little bit. What you're saying is that moving a little is better, much better for brain and body than not moving at all. Even if I'm shaking my shoulders in my chair or flailing my hands around or whatever I have capacity to do.
Well, the dynamic is once you raise your arms over your head, it becomes an aerobic movement because the blood has to flow from your heart to your hands and back down to your heart. So even if you just lift your arms up and down, you're stimulating your heart. You do a few twists left and right, you're stimulating your spine. Even if you lift one leg or with your hands or even by itself, you are getting the blood flowing through your body, which is so important because having blood flow through your body sends oxygen to your brain, and then your brain has clarity, and again, fighting depression, anxiety, false expectations appearing real. It takes you out of a delusional state because you have to breathe, and breath is the key to life, and movement is part of having the breath move through your body.
Well, thank you for that reminder. I'm about to go do some forward bends in the hall. Look, if you want an appointment with Saharah, if you want a sound bath, a personal sound healing treatment, or some life coaching or a reading, you can call Elise at 213-628-9783, 213-628-9783. Real quick, when is your next sound bath, Saharah?
We have a sound bath on Friday, the Soul Flow After Dark with Mahat Yoga, which is a mental yoga experience, and that is Friday night. And then I have a sound bath at Yoga House on Saturday. So Friday is from 7 to 10 because it's a party type situation. We have a DJ, we have yoga movement, we have a sound bath, we have a healing meditation to guide us into...
Got it. Up against the clock here, Saharah. Sorry.
Okay, and then the sound bath at Yoga House. So Friday is Soul Flow After Dark with Mahat Yoga. You can go to Instagram and find that. And then also at Yoga House on Saturday, 6 to 7:30
p.m., but you got to get there at 5:45. SaharahAli.com is where you can find out more. Saharah, thank you for a great start to our Monday morning.
Thank you, Dominique. Thank you, KBLA family. Remember, as you think, so shall it be. Think about what you want, not what you don't want.
All right, news, traffic, and sports. Then we're back, only right here.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. There was a scare in the air as a Frontier Airlines flight from Cleveland made an emergency landing in Fort Lauderdale after crew members reported sudden headaches and nausea.
All my flight attendants have headaches and now 4 nausea.
Paramedics met the aircraft at the gate, and investigators are now looking into what the airline describes as a possible in-flight odor event. Prosecutors say online shopping records will play a key role in the murder case against singer David, whose real name is David Burke. Authorities allege items purchased online were used in the death and disposal of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose remains were found last year. And the NBA's full 2026-27 schedule is now out, featuring several marquee matchups. Opening night includes LeBron James and the Philadelphia 76ers taking on defending champs New York Knicks, while James will return to LA on Christmas Day to face the Lakers. The regular season ends April 11th. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It might be time to sound the alarm for the Dodgers. They lost 3 out of 4 games at home over the weekend to the Milwaukee Brewers. Their 6-2 loss Sunday dropped them 3 games behind Milwaukee for the best record in Major League Baseball and a half game behind the Atlanta Braves. Milwaukee has the tiebreaker advantage over the Dodgers if they end up tied at the end of the regular season. That means the Dodgers would not have home field advantage if they meet up with Milwaukee in the playoffs. And if the Dodgers don't straighten up, they could be playing in the wild card round. The Dodgers are 13-18 since they had MLB's best record at 61-33 on July 10th. They're 5-11 in their last 16 games and 9-13 since they hung out with Trump at the White House on July 23rd. The Dodgers are not playing like a team that has visions of winning a third straight World Series. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Unapologetically progressive. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. We don't tell you what to think, just what to think about. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. Let's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Let's do this.
Every vote matters. Every voice counts. And between now and November, the decisions made in Washington, Sacramento, and here at home in Los Angeles will shape the future of your family and your community. Don't leave it to chance, and don't leave it to guesswork. KBLA Talk 1580 is your source for the political conversations that matter most. Real talk, real insight, right here. KBLA Talk 1580, the place for politics.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Deon Raymond, Justice Correspondent and host of the Justice Files. For years, LA City Councilman Curran Price has served his district. And for years, he's been under a legal cloud which, frankly, looks thinner every time it's tested in court. Last Friday, a Superior Court judge refused to throw out the corruption case against Price. That's true. But listen to what the judge actually said while doing it. Judge Larry Paul Fidler called this not a great case. Not our words, his. Price's attorney, standing right there in the courtroom, said it plainly. In denying our motion, the court acknowledged that this is not a great case. We agree. Now, that's not a ringing endorsement of a prosecution. That's a judge saying, essentially, there's just enough here to send it to a jury. Barely. The ruling itself says nothing about guilt. It's not proof of wrongdoing. What it is a low bar, cleared by a thin margin, on evidence the court itself has called circumstantial. Councilman Price has pleaded not guilty. He denies the allegations. And after 3 terms representing his district, he's term limited and on his way out of office, regardless of how this case ends. Which raises a fair question. What exactly is served? By dragging a longtime champion for working families in South Los Angeles through a trial that even the presiding judge doesn't sound confident about. We're not saying elected officials should not be held accountable. They should. But accountability means something different from a prosecution that struggles to convince the very judge overseeing it. Current Price deserves his day in court, and he deserves the presumption of innocence any one of us would want for ourselves or a loved one, especially when the bench itself has doubts. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Deanne Raymond, Justice Correspondent and host of the Justice Files. As always, we welcome your feedback.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? Didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
As per usual, this presidential cycle, I guess we'll call it, the news cycle is like a spin class. It's going faster, faster, and faster. If you want to unpack, understand, unbox, or protest, analyze, share, you're always welcome to do so here. We do encourage you. You can call me at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580, and let's figure it out. It is Mindful Monday. We always like to check in on national and international politics. So I guess the presidential son-in-law is meeting today with Benjamin Netanyahu, who is obviously the Prime Minister of Israel. It just never ceases to amaze me that somebody who's unelected, not an expert, and just, I mean, we don't want to talk about DEI. Well, it's not even DEI. I guess it's more like nepotism. But anyway, he's holding talks with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today, and reportedly met yesterday with a leader of Hamas. And that is rather rich to me. Kushner is the one who made the comment that Gaza was prime beach property. He also happens to be a very conservative Zionist Jewish American whose father is the U.S. ambassador to France, who has made tons of anti-Muslim commentary. Nevertheless, that's who the Trump administration decided would be a good person to send to talk with Hamas and now Netanyahu. So, well, let me put it this way. I will hope that a miracle happens, because the people of Gaza, the Palestinian people, certainly have had to bear more than most nations, individuals, ethnicities ever will in the course of a lifetime, with the pounding, the genocide, the indiscriminate killing of women and children, and the total demolition of their infrastructure in the past couple of years. So, I don't care if Kushner can do it, make it happen. I just seems like a stretch. Meanwhile, the president has said that he's ordered the Pentagon on Sunday, the resident, as I typically call him, because he does live at the White House most of the time when he's not at Mar-a-Lago, that he's saying, well, he's ordering them to scale back their military exercises with South Korea, because he says South Korea is not helping enough with the war against Iran. And because he has such a good friend in Kim Jong-un. That's the thing about the president and his sort of strange social relationships, is that he seems to give them benefits, like Putin gets benefits from being his friend, but we don't seem to get any benefits from being Putin's friend. In any case, he's saying, Kim Jong-un is my buddy, and y'all are not doing enough against Iran. Therefore, I have instructed, this is a quote, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to reduce military joint exercises. Well, okay. I mean, it is what it is. Actually would lower the amount of greenhouse gases by some degree, so I'll take it. Even though the logic is stunning. And also this morning on the war front, the president is threatening to bomb Oman. He said that they are getting in the way of U.S. efforts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. They're getting in the way of the peace process with Iran. And therefore, if they don't stop, according to the president, the resident will bomb Oman. It's just, I think, dangerous to be hollering about who you're going to bomb, no matter who it is. That's a whole problem. And Oman, it's trying to expand a war when you really can't even handle the range of the scope of the war as it is now. The Iranian, the spokesman for the Revolutionary Guard, General Hossein Mobehi, on Monday said that President Trump is delusional, that there are no back-channel discussions for peace. He says, quote, there are no talks taking place between the IRGC and the Americans, and this lie by Trump is merely fantasies caused by the delusions and nightmares he has suffered as a result of defeat and desperation in the war. Yeah, it sounds like negotiations are going swimmingly. Again, I will continue to pray for peace, but doesn't look good right now. Doesn't look good for the United States. Meanwhile, you've got these Navy soldiers stuck on the USS Lincoln, and even some top military brass under Hegseth are saying that there are mental health concerns that are a high priority for those soldiers because of burnout, because of the terrible conditions aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln. At the same time, the Secretary of War, as he likes to call himself, as the position is actually called, Defense Secretary, he's kind of dismissing this and going, yeah, well, some deployments are longer than others. But apparently that ship, the USS Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, has had their deployment stretched out more than a month over its 7-month original schedule, which was already long. And there are food and supply shortages, water contamination, sewage problems, a couple of attempted suicides on the ship. So easy for Hegseth, with his powdered face and hair-sprayed coif, to sit there and dismiss the concerns of soldiers who are probably living among poop smells, bad food, not enough food, and terrible conditions. At least 2 soldiers have tried to jump overboard, and the wife of one of those soldiers said it was because he was completely burnt out. But Hegseth says, some deployments go longer than others. Meanwhile, they're sending another ship over there to relieve them. The George Washington is going to relieve the Lincoln, which apparently leaves the entire Pacific Ocean side of the U.S. of America without a battleship, which is, I think, very highly unusual. So, not looking really amazing. And, I don't say that in a celebratory way. I think it's terrible for our soldiers, and I don't love that we are running through weaponry like some people change their underwear, polluting the planet, bombing and killing, and all while losing. All bad. I've always been a peacenik. Y'all know that. I'm a peace person. I pray for peace. I don't like the proxy wars. I don't like the cold wars, the hot wars. But this is what I would call All out worst case scenario. All around worst case scenario. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in on any of this. Stephen A. Smith declaring war on the National Association of Black Journalists. Tell you why when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
My name is Asata Umoja. I'm with the Hyde Park Organizational Partnership for Empowerment, which is at the southern end of Crenshaw. And this community has been greatly impacted. As a matter of fact, one of the things that we're most concerned about is just being totally neglected. And what I mean is being excluded from the process. When this project first started, they should have made sure that our organization, since we were most impacted, was in there. So we've been excluded, and we've seen commercial properties be taken for art projects. And we're very concerned about these are spaces that could help build economic growth and development in the community. And what this community needs more of is economic development, not art. I mean, I like art. It's a good thing. But they're putting the cart before the horse. Because without a solid economic foundation, what they are calling cultural tourism absolutely has no significance and no meaning. And this community is going under if we don't stop and do something to help build that economic foundation and support the businesses that are the tax base for this community to build the kind of services that we need. And the response from our leadership is totally inadequate.
Holding them accountable. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Self-destruction. Yeah, it was self-destruction. Self-destruction. Yeah, it was self-destruction.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through the city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580, your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically progressive. This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
Yeah, well, Stephen A. Smith says they're about to feel his wrath. The National Association of Black Journalists, he says he's been holding back, but now it is on. And why does he say that? Why does Stephen A. Smith, cultural critic and famed anti-black black man, have his sights set on the National Association of Black Journalists? Well, Saturday night they had their Excellence in Black Journalism Awards gala, and they started something new, the Thumbs Down Award. They gave Thumbs Down Award to a number of individuals and organizations, among them ESPN, they call him a personality. Is that what that is? Personality, Stephen A. Smith. He got the Thumbs Down Award along with the Washington Post, CBS News, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, which I thought was rather bold but also true of them. and the media executive, Dewan McCoy, who I'm not as familiar with. In any case, these were thumbs down awards. Stephen A. Smith got one, and he was pretty mad. Now, the president of the NABJ, the national president, Aaron Haynes, said, look, we are confronting people and systems whose choices make your jobs harder. And it's not just a thumbs down, but they're calling on them to do better. Well, Stephen A. Smith said he didn't take it lightly. He said that he has been keeping the gloves off and that now it's on. He's about to go after the NABJ. And one of the reasons the NABJ called him out with the thumb down award in the first place is that they say he has a pattern in his public commentary, specifically of attacking black women, which, you don't need an AI scrape to figure that out. In fact, he does talk smack about black women all the time. So I don't listen to him all the time, but I hear it so much that I'm like, oh, who hurt you? I mean, that's really what it's giving. It's giving who hurt you. They say he has established a recurring pattern of disparaging commentary directed at prominent black women across politics, arts, and media. Well, Stephen A. is not having it. He says he's coming for them. And I think it is pretty funny because, when did he not come for them? When has he supported the NABJ? When has he been supportive of black anybody? There must be somebody. But mostly what I hear him doing is attacking and disparaging black people, black women, African American leadership, and organizations like the NABJ. So I'm not sure why they would be afraid and cower when he's basically saying he is going to keep doing what he always does, which is unfairly and harshly criticizing black people, black women, black institutions. And so, it'll be interesting to watch. If anything, I think he'll end up bringing more attention to the National Association of Black Journalists, just as Trump did when he went in on them. But I just think it's delusional for this man to think he's been holding his tongue. Yogi Fish says, I don't know why my sister Allison did that at the NABJ. Probably because if we don't call these folks out, we normalize it. Like it's regular, normal, and acceptable for one of the most black, prominent and well listened to black men in America to be constantly disparaging black women. If we just give him a pass, give him an award, oh, don't take notice, I feel like we normalize that. And that's not what we want to do. It's just the same reason that I'm always calling out the prevarications, aka untruths, aka lies of this current resident. Because if we kind of just go along with it and close our eyes, close our ears, and hope it just will stop in another 2 years, can just hold on for 2.25 more years, everything will be okay. But that's not how it works. We have to call it out, otherwise it becomes normalized, and the next level of evil demons just builds on top of that level of evil demons. We have to chip away at the disrespect, the untruths, and all of the BS. I feel like we have to. And so I commend them for doing that. And I do believe that even though he's threatening people and saying, well, now I'm going to really tear you down, Stephen A. Smith may end up unwittingly helping the cause, unwittingly helping to bring attention to his own stupidity by organizations and individuals who undermine and disparage us all the time. And, honestly, that makes me want to join the NABJ. Actually, I already promised. Char Joselle that I would, and I will, girl. I will. And I'm going to do it real quick because I know your presidency is almost over here in LA. Juwan McCoy is the owner and president of Circle City Broadcasting, which owns this Indianapolis TV station called Wish TV. He got the thumbs down. I wasn't familiar with him, but what they're saying is that he consistently mistreats black journalists. And if that's the criteria, we could add a long list of thumbs down awards. But they're talking about workplace equity, newsroom culture and professional accountability. And of course, there are tons of corporations that have this problem also. But keep in mind that the National Association of Black Journalists is specifically focused on journalism, as they should be. Washington Post getting called out for what they call a reorganization of their newsroom, which really amounted to cutting massive numbers of reporters, particularly those reporters who do investigative journalism and reporters covering race, identity, white supremacy, extremism, protest. This appears to be the flexing of the broligarchy. As we know, Jeff Bezos, the billionaire who spent $55 million on his own wedding last year, but cannot pay decent wages to his warehouse workers. That guy owns it. He has cut back on reporters covering what they call the public interest beats, and cut back on journalists of color and black reporters. So that's why they got the thumbs down. And again, this makes me want to cancel my subscription. They do still have some good reporters and good journalism. That's one of the reasons I haven't done it yet. But the NABJ call out does make me think perhaps it's time. Again, if we don't say anything, if we don't do the call outs, who will? And that is why I am 100% behind them. CBS, again, the same thing. The changes in the newsroom, putting this Bari Weiss person, who is a far right-wing conservative with no kind of experience, ruining and trashing 60 Minutes and paying off the president, all need to be called out. Brendan Carr, the activist Republican, right-wing Trump supporter who is now over the Federal Communications Commission and going after journalists who speak their mind and do their job. These call-outs are important because otherwise we normalize this sort of authoritarian, state-sponsored journalism censorship and the purchasing and control of the news apparatus by these broligarchs, these billionaire tech bros who are currently have our federal government in a headlock. Let's not normalize that. All right, comedian Del Harrison is here, and we are going to do a big old pivot. We're getting a little messy. We're going to talk about celibacy, a choice or a punishment. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. There was a scare in the air as a Frontier Airlines flight from Cleveland made an emergency landing in Fort Lauderdale after crew members reported sudden headaches and nausea.
All my flight attendants have headaches and now 4 nausea.
Paramedics met the aircraft at the gate, and investigators are now looking into what the airline describes as a possible in-flight odor event. Prosecutors say online shopping records will play a key role in the murder case against singer David, whose real name is David Burke. Authorities allege items purchased online were used in the death and disposal of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose remains were found last year. And the NBA's full 2026-27 schedule is now out, featuring several marquee matchups. Opening night includes LeBron James and the Philadelphia 76ers taking on defending champs New York Knicks, while James will return to LA on Christmas Day to face the Lakers. The regular season ends April 11th. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the dagger?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It might be time to sound the alarm for the Dodgers. They lost 3 out of 4 games at home over the weekend to the Milwaukee Brewers. Their 6-2 loss Sunday dropped them 3 games behind Milwaukee for the best record in Major League Baseball and a half game behind the Atlanta Braves. Milwaukee has the tiebreaker advantage over the Dodgers if they end up tied at the end of the regular season. That means the Dodgers would not have home field advantage if they meet up with Milwaukee in the playoffs. And if the Dodgers don't straighten up, they could be playing in the wild card round. The Dodgers are 13-18 since they had MLB's best record at 61-33 on July 10th. They're 5-11 in their last 16 games and 9-13 since they hung out with Trump at the White House on July 23rd. The Dodgers are not playing like a team that has visions of winning a third straight World Series. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. My big mama used to say that there are 24 hours in a day, 12 hours to mind your business, and 12 hours to leave other folks' business alone. So, let's talk about our business, Crenshaw Business. For over 5 years now, the good people of the Crenshaw Corridor have lived in a gated community, but not by choice. Gates, fences, barricades, limited street access, closed lots, and then some. By now, you've heard the stories from the folk who've lived this nightmare. Business owners have lost customers. A charter school lost students. A veterinarian lost clients. Churches have lost members. And still, Procrastination Crenshaw sits unfinished. And when I say sits unfinished, I mean sits unfinished. Nobody was seduced by the Jedi mind trick they tried to play when they ran that headline on the front page of a local black newspaper about the project restarting in weeks. I mean, come see for yourself. The only